Hello and welcome to a new year, another season. I guess we do 2 seasons a year to make it seem like we have more under our belt. A new season of Sand Shark Bites. I'm your host Justin Jarrett, Sports Information Director of Athletics Marketing here at USCB, and joined as always by my left-hand man, Professor James Duffy of the English department and just about every other department, it seems like, on a volunteer basis. He's the big man on campus, involved in just about everything and very involved with our athletics program, helping us keep afloat.
Making a fat joke early, is that how we're starting this season? Is that
No, absolutely not. I've seen you in the gym working out. Know you're on the treadmill, putting in the work, and hope all of you are doing well with your New Year's resolutions and whatever it is. If it's to drink more beer, so be it. I've been trying to keep healthy myself a little bit so I can keep up with these young bucks.
No kidding. You're getting age comes quickly, it seems, and all of a sudden you're falling apart and got to get back in there. We've both been doing our bit this new year.
It's a lot harder at an advanced age, that's for sure. But you know, we keep young by hanging out with all these college students, and I've had a blast the past couple of days. We've been in the studio hanging out with the baseball team, getting to know those guys a little bit better. We've got a lot of turnover in that program with several seniors leaving last year, but some fun guys, just a really fun bunch. We'll get some promotional videos and stuff out here in the next couple of weeks to try to introduce them to the fan base, and we'll have Coach Bryan Lewallyn on the show in just a bit, still wearing his jersey and cap from picture day. And he was in top form today. He's going to talk a little bit about the season. Played it pretty straight for the show, but he was quite the comedian when we were doing our headshots and our video intros and acting out some scenes from Top Gun and some of his favorite movies. So
need to be on the gag reel for the banquet.
There was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. We got a few sports getting ready to take off. Track and field has just gotten underway. Baseball and softball and men's golf all right in the
it's go time, so to speak. You mentioned track and field. They went down to Daytona Beach, Embry-Riddle, our old stomping grounds down there. Even though Embry-Riddle's moved on from the Sun Conference, we'll still see them from time to time. And they went down and kicked it off on Saturday, and it was just horribly cold, bitterly cold. No offense to those of you in the northern territories, but
not nearly as cold as, say, New York.
For South Carolina and Florida, it was very cold. I think it was, in the upper 30s, low 40s. Wind was howling. Not great weather for a track meet, but the kids did well. Couple of school records by very, very narrow margins. Rochelle Toth and Brandon Gordine both broke their own school records in the 60-meter hurdles. Quite a few strong performances, not
a little more impressive sometimes in my book by Rochelle too.
Yeah.
Leap a hurdle that is practically, smacking her in the face.
4 feet nothing, and she's our school record holder in the hurdles is pretty phenomenal. I agree with that. Physics would suggest that would not be possible. But Betsy Douglas ran well. Taylor Superior, who we got to know a little bit during soccer, she didn't get to play, but was on the team, had a knee injury. She's back, and she high jumped this weekend, and so there's a lot of potential there. I think they took 46 athletes, which is phenomenal. Larry Kimball continues to grow that program and add more and more athletes. Quite a few freshmen who got that first meet under their belt, and I think it's going to be an exciting year for them.
Emily Pauly in there throwing heavy stuff for us.
Another dual sport athlete, softball player, got her marks in, so now she'll be eligible for the Sun Conference Championship. So now she'll go back to softball, and then the conference championships for track happen to fall between the end of the regular season and the conference tournament for softball, so she'll go there and hopefully rack up some points for us. But some good encouraging results, and a few people are nursing little injuries and nagging things, so weren't at full strength, but a good start.
And following that up, baseball hasn't really gotten underway yet. It's going to get underway this Saturday in our little world right now. But by the time you see this, it may have come and gone. But
January 30th down at Trinity Baptist in Jacksonville. And again, we'll talk with Coach Llewellyn a little bit more about that and about some of the newcomers. I know you've gotten to know some of the guys. Julio DePena is a guy that we both enjoy very much.
We do. Even though he addresses his emails to me, to Mrs. Duffy. Maybe the haircut is overdue.
I think it's the language barrier.
Might be the language barrier.
He got a little clammy in front of the camera today and wasn't his ordinary self, and I think he was a little self-conscious about the language. But Julio's a fun-loving guy. I asked him, I haven't seen him pitch yet. He's a starting pitcher. Asked him who he pitches like. Asked him about Johnny Cueto, and he said, no, Giordano Ventura from the Royals. So I'm looking forward to seeing our version of Giordano Ventura.
He claims he's got 5 pitches in his bag, so we'll like to see all those.
He says he's about 90, 92. That dog will hunt in the NAIA for sure, especially if he's got 5 pitches. So Justin Cortezas is a guy that I've enjoyed getting to know. I don't know if you've come across him. Got some fun guys back from last year too, Josh Reinhardt and John Cloyd, some hard-nosed guys who just get the job done. Tommy Estepare, who is a St. Louis kid and a Mizzou fan, so I'm a big fan. McLean Harts.
McLean Harts.
Old Pops.
You've got to love McLean Harts. He's really going to fill in a lot of the gaps in the personality distribution that Cutler Lane has left behind. I think McLean is going to slide right into that. I think
that's a good point. Good point there. He's also going to probably separate his shoulder 3 or 4 more times before the year's over. Yeah. So it's a fun bunch. There's a lot of personality, and there's a lot of personality on this softball team too. And you're going to get your chance to see them first, February 6th. They'll be the first one to open up at home, and that is a fun bunch. We had them in the studio a couple weeks ago doing their video intros and goofballs. Let me tell you that freshman class is a lot of fun.
The freshman class is a lot of fun. The senior group too. With Missy Hughes and
Whitley Martin, Ashley Lehman, who we missing?
5.
Kara Jamerson.
Is it 4 or 5? I was looking at the picture the other day. I've had 4 of the 5. I've never had Kara in a class, but the rest of them I've had in my classes. And I don't think they'd mind me saying they're a ridiculous bunch, but I really have enjoyed having them as students. And
it's a fun team off the field, and it's a fun team on the field. They are a lot of fun to watch. Going to be a little different brand of ball this year, a lot more small ball, a lot more speed, not as many of the big boppers like we've had in the past.
You look at some of those hitters that we lost last year, Taylor Triplett being one of those.
Maddie Bird, Mariah Sanborn,
all those big
Zip.
bats.
There's a lot going from that senior class, but it's new blood. It's the new class. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And golf is always fun.
Golf men's team decimated by the loss of a few players.
Yeah.
So it's only 6 of them out there hitting that ball around.
Yeah, 6 guys for 5 spots. But quality is very strong. Still got Judd Malam.
Tearing it up out
Brad
there.
Curran. Seth Rockwell had a good fall. Who am I missing? Kirk Mitchell. He had a good fall as well. And don't want to leave out one guy.
I know you're going to leave out a couple of guys, but it's hard doing it without the notes.
Just going off the top of your head. I know I'm missing one guy, and it's killing me.
Make sure we mention him in a
highlight
next week.
But it's a good squad. Just talked to Danny Allen today. He's really excited about the guys that we do have back. He's excited about some of the recruits that he's either signed or is already talking to for next year. He's going to build. It's kind of a transition, not so much a rebuilding as a transition, but there is going to be a little bit of a transition there.
Well, next year's going to be it's going to be a whole new team.
Exactly.
More so than many of our other teams.
Not too many. Bobby Dunphy, that's who I forgot, the freshman, our other Canadian. He's going to carry the torch for Brad when Brad moves on. Can't believe I forgot little Bobby. He's a great player. He's going to be a good one for us for a few years. So, assuming he sticks around and doesn't leave when his countryman graduates. But that's a fun group. Women's golf, we're going to try to get them in the studio, do some fun stuff on video as well, because that's another fun team. They're still a couple weeks away from getting started, but ranked very high in the nation, top 10. Alexis Bennett's got a wonderful bunch of kids. Emily Turner, Franzi Noach, there's Lena Sekarkova, who of course has made headlines.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of good kids.
Yeah, I mean the this population of bone marrow donors from USCB athletics. It's an amazing little phenomenon.
Yeah, we kind of turned into I made the joke that we're the University of Bone Marrow Donors, but if you missed it, Lena Sekrikova, following in the footsteps of Jason Boulay, who we had on the show last year to talk about his story, he went on to donate bone marrow and was a great story, became a national story. He got a lot of national accolades. And believe it or not, 1 in 540 chance of being selected and actually donating. We got another one among our ranks. Lena Sekrikova is going to donate the stem cells. She's not going to have the invasive procedure, the surgical procedure, but just donate some stem cells and hopefully save a life. Yeah, so pretty phenomenal that lightning has struck twice right here.
It's just it absolutely makes me speechless that you think about the value that these students coming to college and having an opportunity not just to learn and develop as players and scholars, but then also to contribute to the world in this way.
Yeah, and I thought it was neat talking to Lena that when she signed up as a freshman, she didn't really necessarily want to sign up. She thought, well, I'll do it. I'll probably never get chosen, and wasn't something she really wanted to do. When her name came up, absolutely it was something she wanted to do. So it was neat to see that maturation process over 3 or 4 years and where you grow up as a person and realize really the value of that and what a great experience it can be and what a great opportunity. So that was really neat, and hopefully that's something that we instill in all of our students, not just our student athletes, but all of our students here at USCB to have that caring aspect and caring for others.
Absolutely, absolutely. Champions of character.
Absolutely.
That's
what we try to be. So that's a lot to say about teams that haven't competed yet.
For nothing going on.
There's quite a bit going on. I guess it has been a couple months since we talked to these fine folks, so we had a few things to fill them in on.
Yeah.
But we'll be seeing you every week now. It's time to kick off a new season, and we'll have lots to talk about some weeks and not so much other weeks, but we'll make the most of it. Well, we'll be right back to talk Sand Shark baseball with Coach Bryan Lewallyn right here on Sand Shark Bites. Joined now on Sand Shark Bites by Coach Bryan Lewallyn, USCB baseball team, and hard to believe it, Coach, as we sit here in January, but baseball season getting underway this weekend, weather permitting, headed down to Jacksonville, Florida, take on Trinity Baptist, and seems like a whirlwind since the guys got back here in January, but you've had pretty good weather, had a chance to get out and get your work in, as well as working out at Minor League Academy here in Bluffton, getting some indoor work. So team ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. I think we are. Like this time of year, everybody's always looking forward to seeing somebody in a different uniform. Like you said, the weather's been okay. We've gotten to get out on the field a little bit and get some work in an indoor facility. But, guys are starting to itch a little bit and kind of get tired of seeing me on a daily basis. They want to see somebody else, and I'm ready for them too. So I think we'll be ready to go this weekend.
Yeah, and some of the guys got to knock the rust off a little bit last weekend at the Sun Conference All-Star Game, and by and large, a pretty good performance. A couple pitchers we sent down there pitched clean innings, or scoreless innings anyway, in a 36-run game, so that's a good sign. And all the hitters we sent down there had at least one hit, so everybody looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. It's good to get a couple guys some live at bats and let some pitchers see some live hitters in that All-Star game. And really this time of year it's about throwing strikes, keeping it simple, and those guys were able to do that in the All-Star game, and so I was proud of what they did.
A couple of those guys returners on the pitching staff. You're only as good as your pitching staff, it seems like, in baseball most of the time. A couple good ones coming back with Jamie Strock and Blake Drew, and as well as kind of restocked the arms a little bit. Who are some of the new guys that folks can look forward to seeing on the mound?
Yeah, like you said, Jamie and Blake both did really good things for us last year, as well as some other returning guys that we have. But some new guys to look forward to. John Gora is a guy that brings some experience. Julio DePina, Forrest Kirsch, Justin Cortesis. We've got a lot of guys that are going to bring some experience and help us out on the mound. And like you said, that's what it's really all about.
Yeah, but we can swing it too. The Pat Cottrell's done a great job with the hitters last year. Put up a lot of runs, had a lot of hits. Some of those Bash brothers are gone though. Ashley Morris, Zach Holt, Johnny Cole, the middle of the lineup had to restock that as well. Who can we look to to put the hits, put the runs on the board.
Yeah, I don't know if you can ever replace Zach Holt in any spectrum or all the walks that Johnny Cole had for us. But we got some new guys in that'll do some good things for us. Max Balter's been swinging it well in practice. Charlie McGinnis has had a good last week of practice, as well as some returning guys that we've got. So, top to bottom, I don't know that we'll hit the home runs that we hit last year, or that we've got anybody that'll hit 390 on the season. But I think from top to bottom, we've got some guys that have some college at bats under their belt. They have some experience, and we'll be able to execute the game plan when we go out there.
One of the things we've talked about quite a bit in the leading up to the season is just the chemistry and the group of guys you got. I think that's an underrated thing for people who maybe haven't been on the inside, been a part of a team, but bad chemistry can derail a really talented team in a hurry, and good chemistry can really add a lot of wins to your talent level. Seems like these guys are pretty tight as far as relationships, but pretty loose as far as their attitudes and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how it will translate into wins and losses for us, but I know we've got a good group of guys, a group that I like to be around, that I don't mind getting on a bus with and traveling down to Florida and playing some games. They enjoy each other. They pick on each other and have a good time, and so the chemistry is definitely there. Now we got to get ready to take the fight to somebody else, and I think we'll do a good job with that.
Kind of odd for us because we usually get to open up at home. We're home all through February, it seems like, most of the time, but a couple road trips to start off, down to Jacksonville this weekend, and then out to Truett McConnell on the 5th and the 6th, I believe, or 5th and the 6th, and then won't open at home until February 12th and 13th, and that'll be a conference matchup against Thomas, so that'll be a big one. You kind of like getting on the road a little bit and kind of clear your head and get focused on baseball before you come back home?
Yeah, it's nice to just get on a bus and go play, take BP in and out and go play somebody versus having to deal with the stuff that you deal with at home sometimes. But really it's all about just getting games under our belt at this point, and that's how the schedule worked out for us this year. Whether we're on the road or playing at home, I like the maturity level of this group, and I think we'll be fine, playing at home or playing on the road. But really just hoping for good weather, that we can get these games under our belt and get ready for conference play.
Yeah, going to be a little different in the conference this year. Embry-Riddle, of course, gone. They've been the powerhouse for several years, but plenty of top teams. I mean, St. Thomas is ranked number 1, number 2, depending on what poll you look at in the preseason. They were in the World Series last year. Kaiser, the defending league champion, brings back the MVP of the league, Player of the Year. Got some good squads there, Southeastern as well. Thomas is always tough. How do you handicap the conference race, or can you at this point?
You look at, like you said, you look at the top, and St. Thomas is always going to be up there. They do a really good job, and they've always got good players. Kaiser, again, those guys do a great job and recruit well and have good players. Southeastern in the same ballpark. So, I think those three are the three guys that are the three horses that everybody's kind of chasing. And I like where we're at. I like our chances against them. And like you said, Thomas and Weber and some of those other teams that you can't sleep on those guys either. So I kind of like being the underdog a little bit. Take that target off of our back, and we'll chase somebody else for a little bit.
Yeah, and the guys seem to respond to it too. It just to put a little chip on their shoulder never hurts, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, well, best of luck on the road these next couple of weekends, and we're looking forward to getting out to Hardyville February 12th and 13th. Hope to see a lot of you out there to check out Sandshark Baseball. Thanks for joining us on the show, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back with more here on Sandshark Bites.
At the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, we offer small classes, individual attention, and an affordable education in an atmosphere that fosters diversity and achievement.
We are students.
We field 9 Sandshark sports teams that compete in the Sun Conference.
We are athletes.
We are one university with 2 campuses serving the coastal areas of South Carolina and Georgia.
We are the Low Country.
We are the fastest growing 4-year school in the University of South Carolina system. We are USCB.
Seeing that video of Coach Lou just made me think about earlier today, seeing him do all those Top Gun scenes. Good times. That's a fun bunch. I didn't get him to do lollygaggers though. I should have got him. Lollygaggers. He'll save that one. He'll save that one for the real deal, the real game.
No kidding.
But yeah, it's
no better motivational speech exists in all of.
It's baseball season, Duff. It's
is.
exciting, isn't it?
I am telling you. I love baseball season. I'm teaching my baseball class right now. I've got baseball players in my class.
I think the best thing about being involved with an NAIA school is that we don't have to wait till April for baseball. Baseball starts last weekend in January for us, so it's go time, especially one in the South, because it comes to us. We don't have to travel all over the country to find weather warm enough to play ball. We're ready to go. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get a lot of fans out for the ride, and a lot of people following on Stretch Internet and watching the show every week.
That's what we're hoping for.
Well, if you're new to the program, this will be new to you, but for everyone else, you know the one thing we have left to do. Before we wrap things up, we've got to name an Athlete of the Week, a Sandshark Bites official Athlete of the Week, and tough to pick this week just because we only have the one team that has competed thus far. I guess we could have done a baseball all-star participant, but that feels kind of like cheating. It's not official competition. So track and field it is.
We've got record breakers.
Couple record breakers, but you foreshadowed this a little bit inadvertently because we hadn't discussed it yet. But when you've got about a 4'10", 4'11", something like that, hurdler, that's your Athlete of the Week when she sets a school record. Rochelle Toth, she's a senior. She's a sprinter, a runner, and a fantastic hurdler despite her tiny, short little legs.
And a good member of the USCB community as well.
Yes, she is. She's a fantastic kid. Just a free spirit,
Absolutely.
I guess you would say. She's a hula hoopist. She's very talented with the hula hoop.
That's new information. I did not know that.
Oh yeah, she can do like actual routines with the hula hoop.
Well,
yeah,
that's going to liven up my next technical writing class.
Yeah, it's very interesting. She's posted some videos on social media before of some of her little hula hoop routines. She's pretty impressive.
I'm excited to know this information.
So Rochelle Toth, she's your Sandshark Bites Athlete of the Week for the first episode of the new season.
There we go. 2016.
And that's going to put a bow on this week's episode. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel/YouTube channel. I guess that's called a channel too.
Sure.
Same place you find Sandshark Bites from week to week. You'll find it there every week. We'll be here to talk more about USCB athletics, and we'll have some live action to talk about. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Hopefully. Assuming the weather holds up in Jacksonville. And until then, keep those fins up.